I don't know if I've ever talked about this on the podcast before. In my mind, what happens when you die?
I don't think so. So what do you think happens when we die?
I actually watched a video, or I think it was a podcast or a TED Talk, where somebody explained it, and I'm like, yes, like that's exactly what I think.
What is it? I want to know, because I be thinking. Hey. Welcome back to Two Little Wine Podcast with Jada
and Ashley.
Cheers. This is a new wine, guys.
We've never tried it before.
It's not bad.
Yeah, you're like,
it tastes old.
like,
it tastes
like acidic?
No, like basement.
Well,
like the smell of
the package does say like it was in a whiskey barrel for 3 months. It's supposed to be like.
It's not bad though. It's just like harsh, but it's also
copper
sweet.
Or something.
It's fine. Oh, I could smell the. It's like aromatic.
Yeah, Copper and Thief.
Okay, period.
Is the brand. It's a red blend.
It's not bad.
It's not very sweet.
No.
It's not what we typically go for, but I can imagine this for like dinner.
I don't know.
I don't know either. With this paired with a steak and blah blah blah.
Mm-hmm. Well,
welcome.
Go, Ashley.
No, today we are going to be discussing life's big questions.
Yeah. What does that mean though?
When I think about life's big questions, I think about like the unknown, like the
scary stuff.
Scary stuff or things that just leave you to like wonder.
So I actually I'm going to try to stop saying like so much. Mm-hmm. But I typed in life's big questions on TikTok. Like, you know how now it's like a thing that I'm not gonna go on a tangent today, but I like to type things in just to see what pops up. And I typed it in, and it was like a bunch of philosophers and like pictures of, or I saw images of like people conversing about, I don't know, like real deal, serious. That's what I think about when I hear life's big questions.
Yeah, like almost like questions that don't have a right or wrong answer. They're just things that we wonder that might always be left to wonder.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. What's the first one?
Yeah.
What's life's first big question? I'm gonna ask you. We have a little list here. Ashley, do you think that we are in charge of our decisions?
Yes, I think that, well, first, I believe in God, and I believe that we're given free will.
Okay.
So, yeah, I believe in life you have free will to make decisions. I think, I don't know if I've ever talked about this on the podcast before, about like, in my mind, what happens when you die.
I don't think so. So what do you think happens when we die?
I actually watched a video, or I think it was a podcast or a TED Talk, whatever it was, where somebody explained it, and I'm like, yes, like that's exactly what I think.
What is it? I want to know, because I be thinking.
So it was kind of like it's like a reel or like
it's like a flashback of your life,
like a video of, or like instances of like what your life could have been, like what you were destined to do.
Oh. After you die.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then it's like this was like God's plan for you, let's say. But we have free will. So we don't always make each decision the way that, like the perfect way, let's say. Right? So then you can think back, and then it shows like the life that you chose, like what you chose to do and what you did. And there's opportunities to see like, oh, okay, so I was trying to learn this lesson and had to go through it like 5 times because I didn't get it the first 4. And
that's interesting.
Like that kind of thing.
Okay, so it's almost, so you're saying your idea or view is that when we die, we see God's path, and then we rewind ours too to compare almost.
I don't necessarily think that. I didn't think that much through of like there's a rewind video, but I'm just thinking,
because
as my human self, I'm like, oh, so then obviously you would notice all of the I don't want to call them missed opportunities because I don't necessarily think that.
Yeah, because what if you
I think
achieved?
things
What
just-
if you achieved everything, or what if you
Yeah.
were content when you died?
Yes, I think that we could be content, but I think that we notice like sometimes. Have you ever felt like you are learning the same lesson over and over?
Oh, absolutely.
I don't necessarily think that that's God's plan for you to learn it. I think the plan is for you to learn the lesson.
The first time.
It's for you to. The plan is for you to learn the lesson, whether it takes you 1 time, 10 times, or 20 times. It's okay. You're gonna continue to be in situations until you learn it.
Yeah. But in general, you feel like there is a plan already set forward. There is a pathway that's already set. Like you're destined, almost like.
Yeah.
What do people call it? There's a word for
Fate,
it.
destiny,
Fate
yeah.
and destiny. You believe that?
Yes.
Interesting.
How about you?
So, I 100% think we're in charge of our decisions.
Mm-hmm.
I don't necessarily think that there's like a given plan, though.
Mm-hmm.
I think that every decision we make, we're making it to learn.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think that like there is an end result. Like that there was already a path set forward. The only reason why I believe this though is because when I think about like my life and like all the twists and turns that I have done, I'm like, there's no way that like this was the path the whole fucking time. Like there's no fucking way.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think that the pathway changes.
Yeah. Yeah, I think yes. But when I think about like I agree with you. I totally see what you're saying. I think where I'm coming from and what I'm saying is like the path changes of like how you get there, but in the end, like,
that it was always supposed. If you were supposed to do this, like you're gonna get there.
You're gonna
gotcha.
get there.
Okay,
because we're in charge of our own decisions. It might take us longer. It might be in this path. It might be in that way.
I do think though, with the world that we live in today, we're so easily influenced to the impact that we don't even know that we're being influenced. So then that's when you question like, is it really me deciding this, or did like society decide this, or like
that's one of the
and the reason why I say that is because something so simple and minuscule is like our phones listening to us and hearing what we're saying, and then an ad pops up and it's like boom. Now until we purchase that thing or we do that action, it's gonna keep being there until we make the decision to do whatever it is. So then at that point, are we really deciding? That's the scary part. Yeah. I think that every time. sorry. Go ahead.
No. I'm thinking because there's a question here that it was like, do we live? Yo, I need my glasses. Not do we live there? One, what's the impact of technology on humanity?
Okay.
And I think that
is part of it.
Sometimes I feel like
are we too
think
dependent?
Things. And then it pops up on my phone.
Or are your actions just being followed and it's already predicting it, so it's just putting it there in front of you so you can make that decision, right? This is where I always tell Ashley, guys, that I am a conspiracy theorist. Whenever like there's a will, there's a way with me. When people say things, I'd be like, and then I'll go down a rabbit hole, right? So yeah, I'm going down a little rabbit hole as we speak right now. Do we really though? Like, are we really in charge of our decisions? That's scary because, okay, now I'm gonna go to a different, like a little tangent. So I recently finished Lost, the show Lost. Very quickly, these people are on an airplane. They get like lost in the world, right? And they land on this island, and like unbeknownst to everybody, their lives are like intertwined, right? So they didn't know that they were gonna meet each other in the real life or like before they got on this plane. But every decision that they made led to them getting on that plane together and getting on this island. And then at the end of this season, supposedly or whatever, the idea is that this man or this like figure, that's godly figure, chose for them to go. He handpicked these people that ended up on that airplane to land on this island and get lost. So at the end of the day, did every decision that they make to get there, was it really them? And that's the big question. So that's the fight that the morality fight that people are having from the island, the like native islanders, and the people that got lost. Like, are you really, do you really believe that you're supposed to be here, or did you choose to be here? I don't know.
Well, so
That trips me
sometimes
up.
I think about that in real life. So like I'll look around the grocery store and I'm like,
Marketing, yes.
and I am like, every single person in here, something had to happen in each person's day, whatever it might be, to like for all of us to be here at the same time. Does that make sense?
Yeah. That
So
makes sense.
like when you run into people you don't know, and like, not that you don't know, when you run into people that you know in places, like something in their day had to intertwine with your day or whatever. And if you're going to the grocery store, then it was probably aligned with, oh, what I want to make for dinner tonight, and I need this, like. And that's why I don't believe in coincidences, because I feel like everything happens. You don't just wake up and go to the grocery store.
I don't know, but what if you actually do?
No, because why do you go to the grocery store?
To buy things if
Why
you
do you
need
need
it.
to buy? Yeah,
but
because you need it. Because you ran out.
sometimes little old me just be wanting to go for funsies.
Well, okay, because you felt like, I'm bored, or I want something to do. I like to look around. It keeps me entertained. It's for a reason. I don't know.
But I was just gonna jump into like marketing real quick, because if you go to the grocery store, they literally place things in places so that you can look at them, go that. So did you really make that decision, or did the marketers make the decision for you? Think about that.
Well, you're totally influenced by things around you.
Okay. Food for thought.
I mean, there's no right or wrong answer.
No. I just backtracked though, because at first I was like, yeah, we make our own decisions. That's why I like these questions.
Yeah. Okay. Would the world survive without rules?
I don't think it would.
Me neither.
I think that it would be a free for all.
Yeah. What's that movie with the masks, and then like you can just do anything for one day?
Oh, The Purge.
The Purge.
Yeah.
I think about that.
Yeah,
like,
that's fear. You know what? Rules build structure. And unfortunately, humans need structure. So in psych class, actually my last psych class yesterday. Yeah, today's Tuesday. We talked about like end of life, right? Or like the old to the oldest to old population, and like why they like there's a higher there's higher numbers of like depression and anxieties and stuff, and it's because they lose their structure. They lose like their routine, right?
Yeah.
And we have that because of rules, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Right? Like you can't just go around killing people.
It can be societal rules, but it can also be like rules that you set for yourself in your life.
Oh.
Right? Because everybody builds their own routine.
Wow. We think like that was crazy. Because that question, I had a whole different view of how I was seeing that question.
No, I saw how you were saying it too, but then when you mentioned like elderly people and like them losing their routine, I'm like, well, a routine can be kind of like a rule that you set for yourself.
Like I have to do this. I have to get out of bed. I have to get a job. I have to do. Yeah, I don't think that the world was. I just don't think that we would have ambition to do things.
Yeah.
Right.
I also think that not everyone is. I think everyone has the potential to do good and to be good, but I don't necessarily think that everyone is just there all at the same time.
Yeah, when I think about myself too, not on the part of like good or bad human, but when I think of productive versus lazy human, I am a lazy human at heart. Ideally, I would do the bare minimum to survive. Like this is gonna sound really funny and kind of a little tangent example, but like I hate chewing. I feel like it's a lot, and like I get exhausted, and I just like I won't eat it. I'll just buy like smoothies or like drink things, right? I'm a lazy human. Like if I didn't have rules for myself, like you need to be healthy, Jada. You need to like get up and do things, exercise, and then fuel your body. I would be like a shit person if I didn't have rules for myself.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't think we could survive without rules.
What are your values, and are you being true to them? This is an interesting question because values could be anything.
Yeah.
What do you think this means? Like values as a person, a human being?
Yeah, I think like your own, like your personal values.
Because our rules.
Yeah,
Rules and
your
all.
rules or like your expectations of yourself or what's important to you. So, um, I like this question because I always think about actually you're the best version of yourself when you honor your values and you honor your morals. That's when you are your like happiness. So some happiest, that's when you feel like you're thriving, right? So like if my one of my values, like I have family values, my family is really important to me. And when I am being an active participant in like my family unit or like making it a point to hang out with my family or to like check in on people that I love, then I feel like that makes me feel good.
It feels you're fulfilled.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then I think about there are times where I'm like, because of maybe something else that's going on in my life, I'm like, I don't want to do that.
Right. You want to disconnect and like,
Right.
Yeah.
And then you have like this disconnect from yourself, you know, of like who you want to be and who you know you are at your core,
Yeah.
and your actions and like what you're really doing.
Yeah. I feel like we all have our set of values and rules for ourselves.
Yeah.
Am I being 100% true to them? I think again, because I'm a lazy person at heart and it's me putting these, like it's my values, I don't think I hold myself to them 100%. Or like maybe I'm not thinking of a value. I'm just thinking about an ambition or a goal. I feel like for me, it's easier for me to do something for somebody else than to do it for myself.
Yeah.
So like I do have these set of values, but am I 100% fulfilling them?
Yeah.
Probably not the best to my ability. And that could be like affected by so many different factors of what's going
absolutely.
on. Right. But ideally, yeah, I agree. When I'm holding myself accountable to my values, I do feel my best.
Yeah. I don't think either that like, for me personally, that I'm holding myself to all of my values as much as I can all the time. You know what I mean? Like sometimes I'm like, okay, I'm really putting this up at the forefront, whether it's family, whether it's like being ambitious at work, whether it's, you know, being healthy, like stuff like that.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm always doing them all at the same time.
I feel like I don't give myself enough grace, right? Or if I sit down and I write down everything all my values, and I see, I almost think it gives me like anxiety knowing that I'm not giving it my all, right? And then that puts me not in the best state of mind too. So
yeah, a friend of mine always reminds me like, you don't have to do it all at once all the time. You can say like, you know, I'm gonna focus on eating healthy, and like I'm gonna focus on my eating, right? And then if you're not going to the gym, it doesn't mean that it like all goes to shit.
Right,
you know what I mean?
right.
Like you're still making progress. It's still important to you, or like basically like don't take away from what you are doing because you're not doing everything else.
Right.
You know?
That's a good thing to remember.
Yeah.
I like that.
It's hard to put into, well, for me, it's been hard to put into practice.
Well, like you saw it's funny. I'm just thinking about Thanksgiving, right? Like, guys, I was like completely not in like the best spirits, and for no school, life, busyness, tired, whatever. But I literally told Ashley, I was like, I think I'm depressed.
But you know what?
But then I ended up getting my period, so like that all made sense.
Well, because I remember you were saying like, you didn't share like it was one specific thing. You were just like, I just don't feel good.
Yeah.
Like I don't feel good. You were just kind of like, I have a stomach ache, like this, that. So we're just kind of like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
But I'm glad that you've been able to pinpoint some more of those things of like, it had to do with school, it had to do with this, it had to do with that. And the whole like menstruation and all that stuff.
Yeah, it's crazy out here.
That's like a whole nother.
That's a whole nother topic.
And I feel like I'm 31 now. At this age is when I'm like starting to really get a grasp of, oh, okay, this is really how my body this is how my body reacts at this time of the month, at that time.
Yeah.
Like,
I also feel though we didn't really know these things.
Yeah,
before.
no, you didn't know.
Yeah.
You just knew. I just always knew like,
I'm gonna be a bitch.
Oh, you get moody.
Yeah.
Like, oh, you're moody during that time of the month. And it's so much more to that. It's so much more to it. It's not just that.
So much more.
Yeah.
right, what's our next one?
Are your
go?
Go ahead.
I was gonna say, are your shoulds getting in the way of your happiness?
Flashback to
when we
I don't know
started.
what to call it season 1, but when we started,
season 1.
we know that's been. If you've been following along, you know that this is something that I have struggled with a lot. Of like, I should be doing this. I should be doing that. I should. And then I don't end up doing anything.
Because you get so overwhelmed. You have so much, again, like you have so much right in front of you and you're like, ah.
And in life, this has been one of my mottos.
Yeah.
There are no shoulds. There are no shouldn'ts. Things just are.
It's funny because when I read that, that's what I said that in my head from you.
Yeah.
For me, are my shoulds getting in the way of my happiness? I think in this moment, maybe not right now. Maybe I'm hitting my shoulds. Like I should do this, I should do that. But guys, I drive myself crazy because I go through so many loops of like, I'm on a high, I'm on a low. Like, I don't know, man. Right now in this state, where we are right now, my shoulds are not getting in the way because I'm accomplishing them. So therefore, I'm more happier.
Yeah, like you're doing the things that you have set
Think
out for
that I
yourself
should,
to do.
yes.
Yeah.
But as soon as I feel like I'm not, I'm like, whoa, what's wrong? Mayhem. It's crashing. And I really, really, really want to get out of that mindset. It can be sad and happy at the same time.
Yeah, that's true.
Like it can be chaotic but also happy at the same time.
Yeah, just because it's chaotic doesn't mean that it's bad.
Yeah.
Or that, yeah.
Yeah.
Something that has helped me recently with this, like with all of my shoulds, I started using a habit tracker, and
like an app.
Yeah, and I share it like with my friends. So some of the habits on there are like making my bed every day, which I've been doing that consistently for like the past couple of years. And I added it though on there so that I can like feel that sense of accomplishment. I know that I make my bed 99% of the time, but it just feels good to be like, oh look, I did it.
Check. Yeah.
But other things like drinking a gallon of water, or making sure every night before I go to sleep, like I keep things are tidy around my space. And it's been really helpful because those are the things that I know that I want to do, and that I want to build my habits in. And then like every night I just kind of like check it off, and it's cute. My friends and I encourage each other.
You'll have to share the app in like the comments or something when we post.
Mm-hmm.
But you just like bing in my head. So I noticed this earlier today about myself. I'm a freaking talker. I be saying like I'm shy and stuff because I'm an introvert at heart, I think. I don't know. Anyways, I digress. But I found that when I tell people that I'm gonna do something, that makes me hold myself accountable. Is that crazy?
No,
but
not
I'm
at
like,
all.
why am I putting my my decisions or the things that I'm doing on? I'm not putting them on other people, but I think that when I tell somebody I'm gonna do something and then they check up on me and I'm not there, I'd be like, damn, I gotta do that. Yeah. It's like more pressure. And again, yo, this is crazy because I'm saying it again. Like, I feel like I do better when I'm doing things for other people than for myself. But in the end, I'm doing it for myself. So maybe it's a psychological thing.
It could be, yeah.
Right?
I mean, it's always...
reverse psychology on myself. No, but I did notice that earlier. Like I'm a little tiny story. So when I was working at this banking job for 3 months, I hated it, but we were training, and every time I learned something, I was very vocal about, oh, I know how to do this now, I know how to do that, to the people that I was training with. Like we were all training at the same time, and this guy was like, do you like to hear yourself talk? Like, do you like to show off? And I was like, whoa, because like in my heart, I just like to tell people, oh my God, I did this. It was so hard for me.
Like,
and I finally,
like you wanted to share that proud moment or whatever.
Yeah. So I noticed that I naturally, that's just it's almost like I want to be proud of myself by like proving to others that I can do things. And I don't know if that's necessarily a good or bad thing, but it's like reverse psychology on myself.
But are you seeking validation from them? Of like, oh, that's good.
No, I think it's internal.
Like subconsciously?
I don't know. Because they could be a stranger and I just want to tell them. I just met you today. I want to tell you I got into nursing school. Or maybe, I don't know, maybe. I don't know. That's something to think about. But I don't think that I care about the validation of others. I just want to be proud of myself.
Yeah. And do you think that other people being proud of you makes you feel good?
Maybe.
And like makes you feel like, oh, they're proud of me, I could be proud of me too.
Maybe, yeah. But again, that's because I feel like I do things. It makes me feel better when I think I'm doing it, I guess, for somebody else rather than for myself. Because if it's for myself, again, I'm lazy. I'd be like, I don't really gotta do that. Something to think about. Think about it a little bit more.
Yeah. You gonna change the
Does
topic?
anybody feel how I feel? I don't know. I think we have time for like one more and then maybe a part 2 for this video.
Yeah, because we have more questions.
Yeah, we have more questions.
Okay. If you weren't scared, what would you do?
If I wasn't scared of what?
If you weren't scared.
Fear?
Yep. If fear was not a factor in your life.
I'd do anything. I'd conquer the world. I do so much. I feel 100%. You know what's crazy? Ugh, my mind. I have ADHD, guys. I'm sorry. I'm not scared of death, I will say. That's one thing that I know I'm not scared of. I'm not scared of death. But I'm scared of judgment, right? I'm scared of I'm scared of like maybe disappointing people, right? So yeah, I think I have fears that definitely stop me from doing. I think that, so for example, this podcast, we had to take a break because I was like mentally not feeling it. And I felt like I was watching the videos and I was thinking about how other people were perceiving me. Not about how I felt and how I was having fun with this. Like I got into my head instead of just enjoying the process as I said I wanted to. So that scared me and I went in and I didn't want to do it anymore. Yeah. And now I feel like I'm building back up, right? I'm doing all the shoulds that I feel like I'm doing these things and I'm feeling better.
Like you're set up.
Yeah, like I'm not scared anymore. Like it's fine. People can judge me. They can have their opinion on me. Like that's your opinion is your perspective, whatever. So yeah, I do think that I'm held back by my fears. So How about you?
Yeah, I think that if I wasn't so afraid of failing, of what other people were gonna say or think, or of like, I think sometimes I'm afraid of like things being hard.
Yeah, like making the wrong decision or feeling like you made the wrong decision so that it's hard. Or
not feeling like I made the wrong decision so that it's hard, but like sometimes things are just hard.
Yeah.
Like, I was actually talking to my mom about this yesterday. Of like, I've always said like, oh, eventually, like I want to teach at the collegiate level, right? And so in order to do that, to be like a full-time professor, you need your PhD. So it's kind of like, okay, that's kind of like part of it. But I've been thinking like, okay, so what's holding me back? Like, why don't I?
You would have to go like back to school, right?
Yeah. Go back to school or this or that. So
you have to juggle all that.
Yeah, like
work, like
commitment.
School.
Yes, and then I know it's gonna be hard.
It is, Ashley. It's
but
crazy.
Like, and then what? It's hard, and then you do it.
And then that's it.
And that's it.
You get through it. You're at the end, and you're like, "Oh shit, I did this. It wasn't that bad."
Yeah.
Time is gonna pass anyways. Yeah.
Because I think about a lot like things that I've accomplished. I've definitely accomplished hard things and like gotten through hard things in my life. But I feel like most of it has always been of just like what I've been expected to do, or like
what
things
you
that
think you
like,
were expected of
example,
you.
Yeah, like for example, I always knew from a young age that I was gonna get a master's degree. Like I always kind of like knew that. Like that was just the plan. Like that's just part of the plan is just what I'm gonna do, and that was the key. You know what I mean? So like then when I think about things that I'm like, this wasn't necessarily always part of the plan, or like I don't really have to do it. It's gonna be hard, and I'm just gonna choose to do it anyway.
That's great. No, for real. It's almost reframing. The best thing to do is reframe your perspective, right? Because when you were younger, that was just in your perspective. That was just something that was gonna happen no matter what.
Right. Yeah.
And our fears blur that line. If we just reframe it to, well, this is gonna happen anyways. Honestly, that's how I feel now. Not now with my program. I'm gonna graduate now, right?
I'm gonna
so
get
it's
there,
in my path anyways. The uncertainty before I got in definitely scared me. And then once I got in, it was like, all right, now I'm already here.
Now we're here. Yeah,
like reframing your perspective.
Yeah. Really interesting, and I think it's something that I feel like I have to like
continuously work on.
Yeah, and I don't think that it will ever.
I don't think it's ever gonna get easier, right? Like I think
it will get easier to like not let fears hold you back.
Yes.
To just be like, to be able to step into things that and just own them. You know what I mean? Because I think before, like this, like we talk about the podcast, this was always like, oh gosh, and people are gonna see us.
They're gonna be like, damn, John is crazy.
I had somebody like tell me like, oh, like you popped up on my TikTok, and I'm like, wait, what? Like,
yeah, like what you think?
What did you see? But even just like letting that go of just being like, oh cool.
Yeah.
Like, so I think it's just eventually it'll get easier to step into purposes and step into where you feel like you're supposed to be.
It's almost like I heard this lady talking about confidence, right? She was talking about confidence and going to the gym as an example. Like when you don't know how to work out, you've never worked out before, you make a plan to go to a gym and it's busy or whatever, you're not gonna get any better at the gym by saying, oh my God, there's too many people there. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know how to work out. People are gonna stare at me, right? Because you're not confident in it. So she was like, what is confidence? It's all perspective. If you go in there every day and just try, get a little bit better every single day, there's gonna be a point where you're so confident, you're like, I don't care if anybody's staring at me. I'm gonna do this workout. I know how to do this workout.
Yeah.
So maybe like that's the opposite. Like that's what we have to do with the fear and the being scared.
I saw somebody describe it too as like confidence is trusting that you're going to be able to get through things and like do things. So trust that you're going to get better at working out. You're going to, because you can continuously improve.
Yeah. And then with that, the fear is gone. And then you stop stalling.
Yeah.
You stop stopping yourself. Yeah. This was a nice little chit chat, but we have more questions, guys.
Yes. So we will see you for part 2 of life's big questions. If you have questions, your thoughts, your comments on anything we've discussed,
leave them down below. We're super interested to hear what you have to say.
Yeah. So thank you for tuning in, and we will see you
next Tuesday.
Cheers.